In this video, I'm going to show you how I look after and care for my soil samples when I'm collecting multiple samples from a plot, a garden, or a field. Now, as you might have picked up, I'm in my lab again, Soil Biolab, and we receive loads of samples on a daily basis, which is great because that means that lots of people are testing their soil, which is something I'm immensely passionate about. If you're trying to get the most out of your soil, you really need to consider testing it so that you fully understand what it contains or what it doesn't contain, and that way you can make the best use of it, optimize nature, those natural processes to grow the very healthiest and tastiest food that you can. And if you're looking to grow things naturally, you are going to need to harness those natural processes, which means microbiology, soil bacteria, soil fungi, organisms which through their natural interaction with various things within the soil actually release nutrients, make them available to our plants in the food that we're growing, and also help kind of reinforce your plant's natural defenses. So when we're doing that, we need to sample our soil in a particular way. Now, I'll leave a link to a recent video I did showing how to sample your soil for microbiology, but the purpose of this video is just really a quick guide. If you're collecting multiple samples, I'm going to show you what I do when I'm collecting a few samples, just to keep them as fresh as possible so that before I get them to the laboratory, they're in the best condition that they can be and are as representative as they possibly can be in comparison to the soil, the situation, the environment from which they were removed. So we'll get straight into it. One of the key items that I use to do this is a kind of a picnic cool box. And we're talking about these kind of things with a plastic handle with a lid that pops off. You can look inside, it's quite a thick plastic, that's because it has an insulated cavity within it. And they come in all different shapes and sizes, there's a few here. Worth, if you are going to use your picnic kind of cool box for soil, then I do strongly suggest that you clean it down after use before you put your sandwiches back in it. Now, a good alternative to one of these boxes is a cool bag. They're really good. They are incredibly well insulated and kind of protect the soil sample in the bag from the sun's rays and keep it as natural a temperature as you can hope to achieve. However, they are a little bit more lightweight, so you can't fit as many bags of soil into it. Now, the next item that I use in this combination are these cool packs or freezer packs. We tend to save the ones that we get sent in to us, and we put them in the fridge like this, and we can draw from them whenever we want. I tend to find 3 is about the right number. Once I've done that, super straightforward. We're just going to line them in the bottom like so. Now, the next thing is to put a sheet of bubble wrap into it. Again, we tend to save scraps from parcels for lab kind of wear equipment, and also the samples that we're sent. As long as it's clean and in good condition, these are just fine. So we've kind of folded this down, and that is just going to sit on the top of the cool packs. Now, the point of this is to just put a form of barrier between the frozen ice packs and the samples themselves. I've kind of doubled this up a couple of times, which is probably a little bit overkill. I think around 2 layers thick tends to be about right. The cool temperature can kind of come through quite nicely, and you've got a little bit of protection up the sides of the sample as well. Last but not least, we are now going to put my bags of soil in. So these are the ones that I've collected out in the field, and obviously they'll get added in as I go. These are quite cool bags because they have a flat bottom, which means that the bags themselves can stand up. That makes it quite easy to put into my kind of cool chamber. You will also see I've actually taken this sample from the fridge. It's condensed already, and that's to do with the temperature change. So this kind of illustrates precisely why you need some form of temperature control just to slow down the microbial activity in your bag of soil once you've taken it from the ground. So we're just going to put that bag in there. We will add another bag. There's no rocket science to this. I'll put the others in and then show you what it looks like. Right, so there we go. I have 4 bags in here. I could actually fit a few more if I wanted. I could even stack them on top of each other, but I would try and avoid that as much as humanly possible because they will squish and squash and drive all the air out of the sample, and we're trying to keep some of that oxygen into the soil so that we keep those organisms that we're going to have tested alive. So just be mindful of how many samples that you are going to place in your cool box. If it's going to be a few more, then perhaps the capacity would really allow to hold kind of comfortably and spaciously. Then I would suggest either take another cool box or do a run back to your fridge and then bring the cool box out again and collect some more samples. So once everything's done, that's easy peasy. The lid goes back on and away we go. Simple as that. Now the point of doing this, as I said at the start of the video, really is to preserve the freshness of the samples as much as possible and preserve the condition that they're in once they're removed from the soil. If you start to kind of manipulate, handle, squeeze and squash things about, it becomes less representative of the conditions from which it was taken. So in this way, if you kind of apply a little bit of temperature control, a little bit of thought and preparation before you collect multiple samples from around your veggie patch, your allotment, your homestead, whatever it is you're testing the soil from, you will have the most accurate representative samples for that area. And I cannot emphasize enough how in most cases, kind of coming at this from the laboratory side of things, in most cases the soil accuracy of the analyses is only as good as the sample that's been collected. So it's really, really important to take care to get the most representative sample that you can and to look after it. So there's lots of different ways to kind of collect and protect your samples. This is just how I do it. It's not particularly complex, but I thought I would kind of share whilst we're in the winter time in the UK. This will be kind of the sort of thing I'll be preparing and thinking of for the year ahead. So there you go guys, I hope you found that useful. If you did, please give it a like. I'd love to know your thoughts if you collect samples. Maybe you want to share with us in the comments below how exactly you do that. Also, if you've got any questions about what I've shown you, please either reach out on email or stick that in the comments below as well. For now though, that wraps this video up. If you like videos that focus on soil to enable you to grow the healthiest food that you can without chemicals, then do consider subscribing to the channel. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.